Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope everybody is, I won't say doing well, because I don't know that any of us are doing well right now. I've kind of put off doing a video for a while because it has felt, words fail me, but it has felt like in our political climate, with things that are going on in the world, with coming on YouTube and trying to act upbeat and pretend that nothing is happening is very difficult. Very, very difficult. I may be the only person that feels this, but I feel like we're on the brink of a world war, and what am I doing here? Okay, I tried to get a grip. I'm not doing very well with that. So let's craft and try to take our mind off of what's going on. And I don't know, perhaps pretend that it's not going on. What I want to do, I got books and use them for journals constantly. So that's what this stack over on my right hand side is books that I have. These are book blocks that have come out of various covers that I've either used for journals or just yeah, mostly these are used, I've used these for journals. A lot of people use book blocks for glue books. I don't. I put wax paper down on my surface and glue on wax paper. And then what this stack is a few options, playing with what you could do with book blocks. These two are from mass market paperback, so they probably have some naughty words on them. Most likely do have some naughty words on them. But the idea is to cover these when they're done. And these would be the most simple. And then this is a larger version of the same thing. Then I think that it would be fun to take and make policy envelopes. They would be tall and thin depending upon what your book is. And then you can put them on a journal. Let me just show you an idea. This would be perhaps a little bit tall, but something like that where it would come in. See if we can find a regular page like this. And if it's short enough, it would fit within your fold. Or you could put it at the top like so. And then I would recommend covering the book part of it. And if you're horrified, I know a lot of you who stop by don't do junk journals, so you may be horrified by the idea of pulling apart books. Just to let you know, I get books from the thrift store. They're very inexpensive. A lot of them are falling apart already and irreparable. I got a bunch at an auction that were kids' books that have no value. Like, they're not first editions or anything of any ink stained, smudged, that they wouldn't have a lot of historical value to them. So another idea I had was like a little envelope. These have holes in them because I use them for doing signatures and punching holes in signatures. And my idea came from this that I received in a swap that is not an envelope. It is a book page. And then it was just a little flap that opens and it's got some cool stuff on the back. And I kind of like that idea. So I thought, well, that would make a really fun, like, little envelope-y thing. And then you could take that and put it in a journal like so. Decorate this up and then add stuff inside like so. And you've made your own little cute little envelope. You could make this into a tuck spot, like round the corners here instead of putting little notch corners on it. Leave it with your corners not rounded or notched and glue it down here and here. Use this as a tuck spot like this. And then this one would come up and you could get in it. I'm totally off frame. Get in it this way. So that's an idea. And then another fairly simple one are just, these are done with that mass market paperback. So they're undoubtedly words we don't want on there. But the idea would be to collage on them like so. And make little pockety envelopes like so. And then you can, with these, I know I'm going back and forth with a journal, but I hope you'll forgive me. You could take it and glue it in, if it was small enough, just on a page, like so, and then have a tuck spot here and here. You could glue it here and here and along the back and have your pocket this way and this way. So there's lots of options with these. So let me show you how to make some of them. Now the first thing that you want to do if you're going to do something like this is determine your page, first of all, weight. If it's too flimsy, you might not want to use it for a pocket. You could probably, or a policy envelope even, because if it's too lightweight, like this one's fairly lightweight, so it might not be durable if you're putting a tag in and out of there. You might get tearing at the edges of the top of your pocket. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This one's borderline. I would use this for pockets, but it's the lightest weight that I would go. I have some statistical books or math books that are almost like a vellum, and those I wouldn't use. So that's one option. These are pretty good. These are sewn in, so you could actually, if you pull them out at a signature line, like here, then you have the option to do like a double fold pocket like so and wrap it around the entire page so that you've got a pocket on two sides of your journal. That's another option for what you can do with these. I have another one here, not this one, which is a gorgeous book, and I would love to use it. But when I tested it earlier, you can see it cracked all along the top and the bottom. You do have an option, so you can see, I don't know, maybe you can't, but there's a hole in it already, or almost a hole. So you could take and reinforce this with an additional paper, top and bottom. You could put washi tape along it, top and bottom, to reinforce what is broken. I was going to use this one for this, to make it a little bit smaller one, which I think would be really nice. But I think instead what I'll use is this one to do that, as long as it's durable enough. So let's start with, let's see. Let's start with that, because it is your easiest option. Like, seriously, this is the thing that is the simplest one to do. And presuming that most of you are here from, I don't know, making curtains and refinishing furniture is what my statistics say everybody comes here for. You might not have done anything junk journal related. So, let's give you some ideas for what you can do. So, I have a cutting mat. I have just a little X-Acto blade. You could use a cutter. You could use scissors. You just want kind of a bit of a straight edge. And I'm going to square it up using the lines on my mat. You don't have to do this, but if you've pulled it out of a book, it could be a little bit ragged on one side. Your other option is to glue it, like just to turn it over and glue it. So you're going to fold it into 3 and make one side a little bit larger than the other. So when you fold this, if you can see here, you're going to leave about maybe 1/4 of an inch or a little bit more from where this ends, where this page ends, and where the fold is, for 2 reasons. One is that if you are going to put it inside another journal as an envelope and you're gluing this down, you want enough room on this side of your paper that you can get in and out. The other thing you can do, either after you folded it here or before, and you can also determine, okay, it doesn't matter because I folded it. If I'd folded it the other way, then it would have been right side up on this side and wrong side up, or right side up on both sides, as it is upside down on both sides. But it doesn't matter because you can cover it with collage. So the other thing you can do is you can fold over a small little bit of the top here, and that isn't straight, but it's, yeah, close. And glue it down. And what this will do is it will give the top of your pocket a bit of stability for things going in and out of your pocket. The other thing that you can do at this point in time is you can take a circle punch like this, and you can cut a little notch in what would be your pocket. Oh, and I always do that just one side. This punch came from the thrift store, and it doesn't like lighter weight paper, and it doesn't like it if it's slightly damp. So it was my fault for trying to trim that while the glue was a little bit wet. If you have ink at this point in time, you could take like a, say, Distress ink and a brush. And you could ink along the top of what would be your pocket here, just to give it more definition. I don't normally do that, but just in case you wanted to see how that was done. I rely fairly heavily on the patina on book pages to give me any kind of additional darkness. From here, you could leave it so that it becomes like this. You could cover this with another book page so that you can fully write on this side, or you can do like I did. And run a line of a line of glue, which are not beads, not at all beads. And just glue it down like so. I was looking online today for Canadian made glue because Bearly Arts is made in the US, and I may be going to Canadian only products. And I'm currently have my fingers crossed that my Bearly Arts, which I've had for well over a year, will last me another 4 years, or perhaps even more. And then you can, let's round those corners. So that's your first option. And like I said, you can take that and then glue this onto a page fully. You can glue a portion of it onto a page with a line here, make that a tuck spot with this a little flappy envelope thing. And then I would collage that after, but I'm just going to show you how to build pockets, not how to collage them. We'll do that perhaps in another video. So those are that idea along with that. So those are those little flaps. So the next one I'll show you how to do, which is also very, very simple, is this one, or where'd I put it? This one, like that. So all those are is, again, I have all kinds of pages. Let's use a really big one. Again, I would trim off just a little bit of this edge so that it's even on all the sides. Like so. And if you cut it straight, you'll get a better line on that. I did not cut that straight the first time. Now all you would do is fold it in half and be very careful that you line up top and bottom evenly, and boom. And then if you find that you didn't trim nice and even, you could come in and trim a little bit more if you need to. And then you want to glue this shut like so. Should have showed you this one first, it's even easier. And I usually use a bone folder at this point in time to make sure that the glue is flat. You can take that and stick it underneath a mat or some books to weigh it down so that the glue dries flat. Also, It is sort of recommended that you let your glue dry before you fold it in half. But because I'm filming this, I will do it wet and hope it doesn't buckle too badly. Now from here, you have one edge that's got a bit of a fold in it and one edge that doesn't. So you could determine which one you want as your top of your pocket. And it, realistically, I don't know that it makes that much difference. I would almost use the fold as your top because it gives it almost the illusion of a cleaner edge, even though that is not folded. These I did at the outer edge. The other one, which is determined it wants to go walkabout. I can't remember where I notched the other one. Oh, the other one I notched at the torn edge as well. And I left the torn edge just to give it a bit of interest. This one, I tried to center that little notch on each one individually so you can see they don't line up. So if you're putting a notch in it, what you can do is hope that that cooperates, is go like this. So fold it in half to begin with, like so. Come in like that with your notch. And punch. And then your notch is in the same side. What you would then do from here is you would come in with your journal page like so, and you would glue along here and up along here on this side, so you've got a pocket here, and then you would do the same here. Other option, rather than putting both your notches at the top, is you can put a notch at the top on one side, like so. Let's do it like this. And then a notch at the side here, like so. So that when you glue this into your journal, like so, you have a pocket here, and then glue along that side, and you'll have glued here either on one side or the other, so that this is then glued in. So then glue along the top. Make sure I'm still somewhat on frame. So glue along the top here and the bottom here, and now you've got a little tiny tuck spot going this way, which I think is a lot of fun. So that's option 2. Okay, so then option 3, which is, no, let's go with this one, because this is your next simplest one, like this. These are so simple, so simple. Let me make sure. I have a decent book page. I so badly want to use that French one, but it will crack and it will disappoint me. I have enough disappointment currently. So I hope you guys are all, like, if you're watching from the US, I hope you're doing all right. I know some of you guys support him Like, I don't know about my viewers, but I know that obviously a lot of people do support him because he was voted in, but as a Canadian, it's really hard to watch. Really, really hard to watch. It's a bit like watching a train wreck, only worse. So I always fold in a little bit of the top of what would be my pocket. One of the reasons I do this is for reinforcement, because things go in and out and in and out and in and out of that pocket, and it takes a lot of friction. So this gives it some additional durability. Now here you have two options, and I didn't do it on these. I did not do a notch on the top of these, and I often don't on these pockets because I collage a lot of them. So if I was going to put a notch in, I would most likely put a notch in after I do all my collage work and then notch it. And you can see, like here, you have a lot of room to get a punch in, like so. Your only thing is to make sure that that's in the halfway mark, more or less, when you do it. And it can be deceptive because if you have collage on there, it can look like the halfway, for example, on this one, should be here where those two sides join up, but it actually is not. So now we have a little notch thing there. And a little, oh, I was like, where'd that text come from? That's from the glue on the other side. That's text from the back side. That's interesting. I've never seen bleed through with Bearly Arts before. From here, you can make this pocket as tall or as shallow as you want. You have an entire book page. So you can go all the way up to the top and just have a little tiny bit at the top left. You can go about half and half. You can go about 2/3 and 1/3. Just do whatever you want. You can also collage all behind here. To begin with, you can leave it with no collage. You'll notice that you have one that's upright and one that's upside down. You're always going to get that because you've turned your page over. If you did it this way, which would put that on the wrong side, you will see that it goes the same. You'd have to go that way, so that that was upside down and that was right side up. But like I said, I'm not, because I collage these, it doesn't matter if that is upside down, but it does matter if that is inside out. And then glue along the edge, like so. And here, like so. And up, like that. And that's it. That's another pocket. So now we have three. So like this, like that, like these. Boom, done. And like I said, I would collage all of them. And then these are little policy envelopes, tall and thin. You could, if you did them exactly the right size, so if you had the right size book pages, you could use these by adjusting the depth of the fold over. You could use these for gift cards. They'd make really great gift card holders. But we're just gonna pull a book page and Not that one, because that has a hole in it. Perhaps that one. For this, it is kind of, it depends upon what you're doing. This one's got a really raggy edge because of the spine on it. So I am going to trim this off. With a policy envelope, you actually don't need to. What you would do when you fold it, this might be cracky. I'm going to use a different book because I think this is going to be cracky. I'm going to use, like I said, I have a lot of book blocks. Let's try that one. This book came from the Dollar Tree. I don't even know what it's about. I liked the cover, so. All right. So if you were using this, because this didn't have anything that you would tear out, what I would do is determine how wide you want it. So it needs to fold over enough that it adheres here and here. So I don't know if you can see, but folded over, you have about 1/4 of an inch, a little bit more fold over. So now you can see that that ragged edge makes no difference. What you want to do is make sure you don't put your glue along the ragged edge. Put it just inside of that, like so. And then on this one, like so. Now you have a bead of glue. I did that wrong. I completely did that wrong. Ignore that. That's how you don't do it. So let's do it again, because you have to do some foldy cutty bits. I do sometimes look to see if I like how the text lays out on the page before I do stuff like this, but beyond that, if I'm doing things, I just like pull and I don't know, just make things. Okay, same principle, about 1/3 and 1/3. You want just enough that it covers that fold and can glue shut. So about 1/4 of an inch-ish. Now what you're gonna do, the part that I forgot, is you're gonna fold up about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a bit more on the bottom. Don't worry if it's 100% accurate, because you're gonna cut a bunch of it off. This is more just to see where your fold lines are. And then figure out how big you want this. Like if you wanted that only to be big enough to put a gift card in, then make this really big and trim this back. If you just want about like so, you just fold it down like so. So now you've basically taken your rectangle and folded it so that you have a line here and here, and then a line there and there. What you want to do is you want to take your scissors, which I moved, and you can see you have a little line here. I've seen another way to do it, and it looked like the most confusing thing I've ever seen. And I can't even describe how it was done, and it was bulky. And what you do is you cut it to the little point at the corner here. Let me take my pencil. You like that really long end of my pencil. So you have a dot here, a dot there, and a dot there. Dot, dot, dot. So I cut to the dot that I didn't put on there. And then you're going to come up this way and cut a little angle so you can see that that's not straight up and down where the fold line is. And then do that here. Little tip, use longer scissors when you're cutting longer sections because you can use your blade as your straight. Otherwise you might get, like if you used, where'd I put my tiny? If you used a pair of scissors like that length, they don't go as far, so you're gonna have to go chop, chop, perhaps chop again, and then you have not straight lines. So if you come like this, in one motion, you've cut all the way to that corner and it should be straight. Again here, one motion, cut to the corner straight. And again here. So now you have this thing that looks a bit like that. Like a square with little pointy out bits. You could cut this shorter at this point in time if you were like, oh, I don't like all that white space. No, you don't have all that white space. Do leave this here because it holds that point shut. Now what you will do, I refilled my glue bottle. It's blowing bubbles at me. Oh, and farting even. Rude little thing. You put a line of glue as close to the outer edge of this one flap and the other side of the other flap. So what you have is you have glue on what would be the downside on the closest to the inside of your pocket, and then a line of glue on the what would look like the same side of the paper lying flat on the outer edge. So what will happen is this glue will glue to this flap and this glue will glue to that flap. And it will give you a flatter, straighter line. And then come along here, put your glue bubbles and your farts on here. You don't have farts in your glue. Only my glue is special that way. I came in this morning and my glue, the bubble on my glue had come up all around the bead of this pin. And I was like, oh great, I've glued my glue bottle shut, but it came off. So that's what that would look like. And then I would put like decoration on the front of that. So that's what those look like. Little tiny poly, well, some are not so tiny. And the height of your policy envelope is going to be determined by the size of your book block, as well as how far down you fold this flap when you make it. So the further you fold this flap, the shorter it is. You can also, let's take one of the bigger ones. With a bigger book. This will only work with one of the bigger book pages. Make a really wide policy envelope. Like wide and short. Like this. So that instead of folding your page this way, you have folded it this way instead. And I should probably trim a little tiny bit off the top of that. I'm going to take as little as I can off the top because this is going to be really, really squat. And then with this one, try to fold up as little as you can. You could conceivably, you could come like this and you could fold it like this, but they don't, like, realistically, they almost never go flat when you do that anyway. This way, you're more likely to get a fairly even fold on that. And then for this, I'd probably do like a shorter little flap at the top, so it's not quite so like short and stout like me. And you can see the text all goes sideways on that. Same thing as before. Come in here, cut to the corner, and then do a little wedge into the corner, cut to the corner, and then a wedge. This will be your flap here. You kind of want to come down a bit further on this side so that you have an edge for your whatever it is you put in your pocket to go in your pocket. You could also at this point in time come, if you wanted to and you wanted to be really accurate, put a little pencil mark where that meets the line that you put here to make sure that your angle here is the same. And then wedge it to the corner. You can also take and kind of semi cut that in half like so, so that the two little triangular pieces are exactly the same angle, but I never worry about that too much because I'm never going to be turning my pocket like this. As long as they eyeball to me as if they are even, I'm good with it. Then again, small line of glue here, and a small line of glue here. The thing you want to remember when you're putting your glue on is that one is on an inside flap and one is on an outside flap, and then they glue together like so. And you can also like just make sure run your fingers inside if you're worried that you have glue too far in. You shouldn't if you're gluing right at the edge of that piece of paper. And then up and shut like that. And then again, I would come in once those are done and decorate them up like that, or like that, or like that. Yeah, basically like those. So get my little bits of grossness off, 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 off. So policy envelopes like so. Card holders, you could put birthday cards in those. You could put gift cards in those. You could put I don't know. You can put so many little things in there. You could put like a little flat bit of Valentine's Day candy in there, especially the little squatter one. Even the taller ones, you could put like a little tiny bit of Valentine's candy in there. Yeah, all kinds of little fun options for those. Then these little pockets, just basically a folded in half or third book page. You could leave them plain like that, decorate them up a little bit with, you know, a bit of fun stuff. Birds. Those come from bird books. All those birds, they come from bird books. And then these that are just like, that one's not anything because it's cracked, but that's the idea. Just fold it in third like so. You can leave it open. You could put something along here so that you could write on the inside of that. Your Valentine's letter. Little love note to your sweetie. That would be so cute. Oh, these little folded in half book pages like that. So then you could do this one as a pocket and that as a pocket. You put that along your journal. So you glue along here and here, and or here and here, and then your another one like that, another one like that, and then these like so. Put a little letter in there to your Valentine's. And until next time, unless we wind up in oblivion, which we're hoping will not happen in the next 4 years. But until next time, I hope you get some crafting and manage to find some peace and rest in this very, very unrestful time. Bye.